All right. Well, before we talk about the big news, because that's always behind the scenes, not on television, we got to talk about what they showed us on television, because that leads into the big news. Smackdown on February 2nd from Birmingham, Alabama. Ah, Birmingham. I remember Birmingham. It was one of our better towns. And now the SmackDown announce team is Corey Graves and Wade Barrett. So they're a two-man team there, as well as with Cole and McAfee on Raw. And also we said goodbye to Panting Patrick. What did you think? You said there are going to be two heels, but Graves can be straight.
Graves can be straight. I think he did an all right job. There's too much Michael Cole in what he does. You could tell who he's been trained by, like the hand movements and all this shit.
Yeah.
Too much of that fakery. But other than that, I thought they did well together.
And I mean, he's going to probably get better moved into that position now because he didn't really need to be a color guy. I know he has the wrestling background, but that is ever farther in the past, and people know him more as a commentator now. And he's young. He's got the hip with it look. The cool kids, he's probably got the fucking penny in his loafer and everything. Corey Graves.
I don't know if I would say he has the cool kids look or anything.
Well, he looks younger than fucking Jim Ross and Gordon Soley and Lance Russell and me, for example.
Well, you may have a point there, yeah.
Yeah, see, but if I comb my hair right, nobody will notice. Anyway, so the first segment was Logan Paul, the in-ring promo. I've continued to every week be a bigger fan of Logan fucking Paul. What a natural heel he is. He's got the attitude, the inflections, the facials while he's speaking. And he's got the material. This is his shit. The writers didn't tell him to say that Kevin Owens looks like a pissed off donut, right? And he's so good with this. He's a personality. And the crowd started whatting him, and he made it work and worked it in to where they were working with him without even knowing it, but he got boos at the end of it. Did you notice that?
I did. He does a great job.
Yeah, so he just went with it and turned it around on him. Backhand right back at you. And of course, then Kevin Owens' music plays, and here he comes, and he got a big reaction. And Owens, a less glib babyface could get slaughtered by Logan Paul, but he holds his own. And he still wants the U.S. title, but Logan Paul's say, hey, you got your shot, one and only. I outsmarted you. Fuck that. No rematch. And I'm going to go find a real challenger. And then I'm going to go down here and talk smack about you on color. And so basically Logan Paul gets out of the ring. They go to the break, but Owens is going to have a match with Austin Theory, our boy Austin. And Logan Paul's going to sit there for it. So I'm hooked on this now because I like Austin Theory and I want to hear more of Logan Paul. And Owens is there too. But this, again, they've fallen into Logan Paul. Who would have ever thought that he would be this good?
He's one of the best performers in all of wrestling. He could do it in the ring. He could do high spots, even the ones you don't like. He could do them. He could do it on the mic. He's a natural heel. He's one of the best guys to come around in wrestling in the last 10 years, 15 years?
And he started late, and he's a full-sized grown adult. Imagine that. But anyway, but after that, they obviously have the match. They come back from the break, Theory and Owens, and they actually wrestled some. Imagine that. Theory takes a great arm drag. And they didn't do the 2 minutes to break deal on this one. They got to go 5 whole minutes. So you were kind of somewhat invested in it. And then Theory backdropped Owens on the apron. They went to the break. But when they came back, again, it's a good WWE style match. They're not going to TV match. They're not going to do too much for too long. But Theory we love and Owens we tolerate. And then finally, they did the fucking WWF finish. Boom, as Waller draws the referee, Logan Paul hands Theory the brass knucks, which Owens grabs and nails Waller and then nails Theory, and boom, 1, 2, 3. And Logan Paul gets the bullshit face, and then Owens runs LP, that's my abbreviation here. Owens runs Logan Paul off through the crowd. So it was a good match and a good little deal. It's better than the normal lackadaisical underneath stuff they fill a lot of this TV time with. I don't know. What'd you think?
I thought it was all right. It was a good match. And I thought the finish was pretty clever just because it builds into everything that just happened at the Royal Rumble with the brass knucks, and it tied into everything Logan Paul was saying during the promo about, how he beat Kevin Owens. And Owens was admitting, yeah, the referee did a good job. They found the brass knuckles on me. I wasn't thinking this would be something they were going to carry to WrestleMania, but it's starting to look like maybe they will.
Well, and I knew from the finish at the Rumble they had to do something, whether it was Elimination Chamber, WrestleMania, or whatever, but that wasn't it. That wasn't it, bro, or whatever the kids say. But then we go from some, and that was watchable, and they kept it moving, and you're interested in the talent. And then you got Escobar and his group of ne'er-do-wells meeting in a crowded restaurant again. Why? Why are they being filmed in crowded restaurants, Brian?
Oh, I don't know. They needed a meal and a drink.
I needed a drink after trying to watch this.
How many camera angles or how many camera cuts were there? There are 4 people at a table. You would think one camera, but there was a camera on each guy's face, and the woman's face too, every time they did anything.
You should see the behind-the-scenes footage of all those servers trying to get past all those camera people and technicians in order to deliver the food to the tables surrounding. It was very inconsiderate. And then speaking of inconsiderate...
He's good, though. I like Escobar. I like Escobar. I think he's good.
But he's not goddamn the cartel boss. This is not believable shit that it's just they're sitting in a restaurant being dramatic in an unbelievable way.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. All righty. And then in the unbelievable part of things, we had a 3-way tag team match with Purely Dreary against Butch and Bate. I'm sorry, that's Dunn and Bate now. And sounds like a companion magazine to Field and Stream, Dunn and Bate. And they were against the LWO.
Yeah, Butch and Bate may be a different magazine altogether, too.
Butch and Bate. Well, what were your thoughts on the 3-way tag team match?
I kind of just went to the finish. I hate the I thought it was a 4-way tag match, actually.
Was there more?
I think there was a 4th tag team in there.
I may have missed that.
And I just kind of went to the finish. I wasn't too interested.
What was the finish?
I don't remember, but Dunn and Bate won. Dunn and Bate won. That's the finish.
Well, that's what I mean. Who won?
Yeah.
We finally got to 9 o'clock is what happened. And here comes Bailey's bunch, Damage Control, for the in-ring interview, and Bailey to celebrate winning the Women's Royal Rumble. And is she going to pick Ripley? She's going to pick Rhea Ripley. Everybody's thinking it. And who's the other girl that wasn't there? Dakota Kai.
Yeah, she wasn't there.
Where'd she go?
I don't know. They didn't even say anything, did they?
They didn't mention her.
Well, they mentioned her in the promo, but they didn't say, she's not here.
Well, that's why they didn't mention why she wasn't there. Could it be that she had knowledge that something was going to go down and didn't need to pick a side or didn't want to pick a side? She wanted to be neutral. Plausible deniability.
Well, you know what? That is interesting because it does give you another segment. Well, whose side is she on? But as far as this segment goes, I thought this was really well done.
Well, actually, I've got to agree with you. Because what they've been building up is the other girls, especially Io Sky and Kairi Sane and Oscar, the Kabuki Warriors, they've all got history. They've all been together for a long time, have known each other. Bailey's kind of been the odd woman out in the thing. But now Bailey comes out and she's dressed all in white, very subliminal. You'll recall when Paul E. clocked me over the head with the phone, I was dressed in a great variety of white clothing. She's a babyface now, and the people are cheering for her, and Pierce and Aldis are in the ring. Who's she going to pick for the blah, blah, blah women's title match? And she does this promo, and she can talk. I just remember what I said. She could be a great manager like JJ for the Four Horsemen when she transitions out of her wrestling career. It's just that she's the biggest girl on this team by far. I'm not into her compadres and cohorts, but nevertheless, she did the promo. She had her girls' support going into WrestleMania. She would many times cry, it's not going like I want it to, and they'd be there for her. They were like family. And the other three are making fun of her behind her back, but when she turns around, they straighten up like kids in class, right? And they're laughing and pointing. And she leads up to be the absolute best. I have to beat one of the best. I don't know why you wouldn't have to beat the best, but nevertheless. That brings me to Rhea Ripley. And they're doing it again behind her. And she turns around and she says, or I could fight a different fight. Sometimes it's more personal. People you thought were your friends, sometimes you have to prove them wrong. And at this point, she's doing a good promo and they're doing the standard heel stuff. But the thing that put it over for me and got me into it, she walks up to him and speaks Japanese. And in their faces, the eyes get big as pie plates because she's like, yeah. I picked it up from all of you talking behind my back. So there's the reveal. She knows what they've been doing. That was fucking great.
That was so well. Yeah. Their facial reactions when she revealed she knows Japanese was great.
Yeah, and then she blistered them for talking about her. And she wanted to do all these things together with them, but EO, since the others came around, it's not you and me anymore, blah, blah, blah. And then the other girls jump Bayley from behind. And they hammer her and she's down, but as they're celebrating, and this don't say, what the fuck? Bayley reaches behind the ring steps and comes out with a fake lead pipe. And I know it's a fake lead pipe because she hit the girls enough that they would have had internal injuries if it was a real lead pipe. But why is a lead pipe leaned up behind the stairs?
Obviously, Bayley had it set up there, knowing that she was going to get hit and be in that corner and able to reach down and just grab it.
That's what they would like people to think like, wouldn't they?
That's the only thing you could believe, right?
Well, anyway, point being, good segment. Now it's going to be Bayley and Io Sky at WrestleMania. I could have done without the lead pipe. Certainly, to God, we could have done something else besides a fake lead pipe, but I'm being picky.
I thought this was a really good segment. Having Rhea in the back watching the monitor added a little bit to it because you didn't know which way she would go. And then the reveal of she speaks Japanese, watching the other girls' faces drop. Io Sky, I thought, was great in this with her facial reactions because she didn't expect any of this. And great. I'm trying to remember, when was the last time we saw a women's promo segment that was this good?
It's been a while.
Yeah, no, this was great. I like this.
And actually, it was one woman doing the promo and the other one's reacting. But, that's the thing. And Bayley, knowing how to speak Japanese, Brian, you know how she did that, don't you?
Do I know how I have no idea how she did that, no.
Well, all the talent, the men and the women, they spend a lot of downtime in the airports and the bus terminals and looking for their shuttle bus to the hotel in the hotel rooms. Bayley got one of those unlimited wireless plans, and she's been studying Japanese in the privacy of when she had private moments, specifically so that she could know that these other three were about to stab her in the back. That's one of the things you can do when you pay almost nothing for unlimited data. Have you heard about this?
I have not heard about this, but it sounds like she needs a good phone plan.
Well, that's the thing. You're going to get the good phone plan along with the unlimited data as long as you're going to Mint Mobile. That's why they call it Mint Mobile, because they're going to save you a mint. And then you'll find a mint on your pillow in the hotel when you got plenty of data on your phone. And you're sitting there and don't know whether to wind your ass or scratch your watch. Just get on your phone and learn Japanese. Or get on your phone and call Japan, because you get unlimited talk and text with Mint Mobile plus the high-speed data. So you can learn to speak Japanese probably what, 3 or 4 days with the data being high speed?
Well, no, that seems rather quick. I think it would take more time than that, to be honest.
Well, no, things move quickly in today's modern technologically marveled world.
Right, doesn't mean
And
you'll maintain the data in your head that quickly.
well, you'll have it right on your phone, so just tell your phone to talk to these Japanese people. And it'll do it at a high rate of speed. It'll sound like a Japanese auctioneer. Macarena, whatever the fuck. Because all your plans at Mint Mobile, whether it be 3, 6, or 12 months, they give you the best rate whether you're buying for one or a family. Families start at 2 lines, by the way. So if you get 2 lines, that means you're a family. If you get a line and some guy across the street that you don't know gets a line, well, you guys are now related. And you can probably cash in on his Social Security when he's gone. But anyway, right now, if you switch to Mint Mobile, you can get your first 3 months of premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month. And that's the unlimited everything. You can, my God, you can call Bolivia and speak for hours, and they're stuck with the bill. It's amazing. Just fuck with them. Just call people you don't even know in foreign countries. Folks, to get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month, to get the plan shipped to your door for free. I guess it's written down on paper and it'll come in a plain brown wrapper. Go to mintmobile.com/JCE. Mintmobile.com/JCE. Cut the wireless bill to $15 a month. Know all the knowledge there is to know in the world and talk to anybody that you want to talk to wherever, even if they don't want to talk to you. Also, if you call from a Mint Mobile number, they have to answer. If they don't, their phone gives them a slight electric shock.
That's technically not true, but it's a nice thought.
It could happen.
It will.
Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions may apply, but not to some of you because you make your own rules because you're renegades that way.
Once again, Mint Mobile.
Yes.
A fine solution for all of your mobile needs. What's that promo code, Jim?
That's the promo code is JCE, and they are certainly a fine solution. One of the only solution you're going to need. They'll solve everything for you. They'll get to the bottom of it, root these things out, drain the swamp.
It's becoming very popular. We've heard from some listeners that have enjoyed Mint Mobile so far, or enjoyed their plans, or getting on Mint Mobile, whatever.
And they're mints.
And they're mints.
Because you can take these mints with you anywhere because they're mobile.
Well, there are no physical mints, for the record.
I thought every time you sign up, don't you get mints?
No. You don't get any mints, ever.
Somebody sent me mints.
Really?
I just had one of them. I felt kind of ill afterwards.
That wasn't from Mint Mobile.
I was smelling the burnt toast after I took it for some reason.
Burnt toast?
I don't know. Anyway, continuing on with SmackDown. What was the deal with... What's the deal, Jerry? Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits and Karrion Kross and the Age of Pain, or the
Final Testament.
The Friends of Distinction. What is their name?
Friends of Distinction.
What are they?
I like the Friends of Distinction. I can dig it, he can dig it, she can dig it, we can dig it, you can dig it, they can dig it. Oh, it did. Yeah, that's good stuff.
Can you dig it, baby? Well, we're grazing in the grass trying to figure out what the authors of Pain. The authors of Pain and Karrion Kross and Lashley and the Profits, they came out to the ring. They got in a big sloppy 6-way fucking fight. Scarlett jumped up on Bobby Lashley's back, trying to claw at his eyes, and that's when, returning from beyond the pale or wherever the fuck she's been, B-Fab. Remember, she was the female cohort of Flop Dollar and Swerve before they got canned the first time and he went to greener pastures, and the other guy. And she got Scarlett off of Lashley and looked very confused about what else she should do. And they all ran off and it was over in 2 minutes. Was it supposed to be a match? Was somebody coming out? What the fuck happened here?
I have to go back and watch it. I hate to say it. I fast forwarded when I saw who was in it just because nothing's really happening with any of this. I didn't know B-Fab was going to be there. I would have watched.
But it was over so quick. It was like something we've done is run long. We don't have time to have the match. Just go out and do the finish. I don't think it started, so I don't think it was ever over. They just fought and then quit fighting after B-Fab saved Lashley from Scarlett. And Scarlett was quite upset. She did give a damn, I'll tell you that.
She looks good with the brunette hair.
I'm not digging it.
I'm digging it.
You can dig it, but I can't dig it. But she can dig it. Dig it, dig it. Can you dig it?
Oh, let's dig it.
Baby. So then we go to the back again. I'm sorry. No, she looks too dark now. She had the blonde. She had the Marilyn Monroe thing going on. Now it's just like
Ava Gardner.
I don't know whether she's a gardener or not.
How many wrestling podcasts this week will mention Joan Crawford, Ava Gardner, and Marilyn Monroe in one show?
And the Friends of Distinction. I don't think any of them. God damn it. That's why we're on top. So in the back, Nick Aldis was making Braun Breaker an offer, smart man, but Adam Pearce comes in and he said, well, no, you got to talk to me on Monday. I'll give you a better deal than that. And so Braun said, I'll think about it, Mr. Aldis, and Mr. Pearce, I'll see you on Monday. So at least we're going to get to see him sooner than later.
Oh, they have to bring him up to the main roster. They have to bring him up to the main roster now. There's no reason not to.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ. Look at some of the things they're showing us right now. And here's this fucking future WrestleMania main eventer, as long as The Rock approves. So anyway, then as Braun leaves, Jane Cargill comes in to talk to Nick Aldis. And did you catch Adam Pearce calls Aldis 00 salesman?
I did catch that. I love their interaction. I'm a big fan of Nick Aldis so far. And he's brought out the best in Adam Pearce.
Yeah, well, because Adam's got somebody to talk to that he can do something with rather than just telling guys what their matches are and arguing with them and shit.
See, I like Nick Aldis because you can't figure out what his motivation is. Sometimes he's like right down the middle, straight-laced, and sometimes it feels like he's not. And he's got these issues with Adam Pearce, who's like Mr. Nice Guy in terms of how he's portrayed on the show. I'm intrigued by all this.
Yeah, see, that Aldis is a cutthroat businessman out for himself, and if what's best for the company and or the TV show is best for him, if he does it, that type of thing. But then what wasn't best for the television program was Tiffany Stratton versus Mia Yim. Did I miss anything? I had to belch.
I wasn't feeling well.
That's right. You had a severe attack of the whooping belch about this time of night, didn't you?
Around this time of night, yeah.
Yeah. It's a regular thing. I think it comes from too much fucking potassium. But anyway, now we got to the main event of the evening, which was another interview, obviously. But at 9:37 p.m. Eastern, I clocked it, Roman Reigns began making his entrance with Paul Heyman and Solo and Jimmy Uso. And I know he's a big star. And I know that the entrance is the pomp and pageantry of the thing. Guess what time? How long from the time the entrance started till he spoke his first word, Brian? Guess the time elapsed.
6 minutes.
You are incorrect. Only 4.5.
Oh.
4.5 minutes later, he spoke his first words. And then we acknowledged him, and then he moved on. And this was brilliant in a number of ways, what he did, because he said, we got to address some of the things that were said on Monday. My little brother, Seth Rollins, and nobody reacted. And then he said, that's right, no pop. God,
that was something. How about that?
Oh, my God. Don't throw rocks at a man carrying a machine gun, Seth. And I hate that the writers probably told him to say most of those things, but he was wholeheartedly with it. But apparently it didn't get over on the island of relevancy out there in the South Pacific. But he said, Seth Rollins says he's got the title, the blah, blah. Roman calls it the loser bracket title. I beat all those guys that are contending for that. He told the truth that here's the heel telling it. It was devastating to the case they made on Raw. It was obviously what everybody was thinking because we said a lot of these same things. But so they they have a guy say something on Monday night on purpose and then have the other guy come out and just fucking destroy him on Friday. And he said he runs around for 2 years in his wife's clothing and calls himself the guy. Well, yeah, I work 10 times less than you and I make 10 times more money. You people want Seth Rollins money or Tribal Chief money? Oh my God, stop it. He's already dead. And the toe of the boot just kept kicking him.
And you wondered about those comments that Rollins made about him on Monday night. Like, wow, those are a little hard there.
Yes. And this was the perfect receipt. And this is so anyway, he says, so Cody can do whatever he wants to do because he's got values. It may not all be about the money with Cody Rhodes. So Cody can either be the very best number 2 in the world or take another crack at number 1. And I mean, let's just stop there before we go any further. Good Lord, nobody was going to buy Seth's line of goods that he was trying to sell on Raw, except if you were the AEW style fan that's like, oh yeah, he has great matches, because it was just bullshit and it was made up and you couldn't get behind it. I didn't think they were going to just disembowel and fucking circumcise, or what's the word I'm searching for? Neuter? Cut the balls off of Seth Rollins so verbally, but I think Roman may have been just a tad bit personally offended. It's kind of like when Lawler got hot when Jimmy Hart said, what do you do with a horse when he breaks his leg? You shoot him.
Did you see the video? I forget when it aired on this show, but it was Cody and Seth Rollins. It was Rollins doing commentary talking about the various champions of the NWA and the WWE. Once again, do you want to be the Hulk Hogan champion or the Ric Flair champion, the Dusty Rhodes champion? All of a sudden, they had a Ric Flair montage. I was like, what is this? And I stopped to fast forward to see it. And it was all building up that promo. It was referring to that promo, I guess.
They're being too smart for their own good, and that they can't build up the secondary title, especially while Seth is the first and only owner. First and only owner of it. It's not going to be nearly as big or as important to the fans or anybody else as the ones that Roman Reigns are wearing or is wearing, or whatever the goddamn grammar is. So they're just tearing down their big one, trying to build up their little one, aren't they?
Who knows?
Well, anyway, when he said you want to be the very best number 2 or take another crack at number 1, Cody music. And he gets a big pop and he makes his entrance, and they go to the break in the middle of an interview segment because it's already been going about 8 minutes and they got a lot more to go. But the cliffhanger is, who is Cody Rhodes going to choose when he comes back, or when we come back? And they come back 3.5 minutes later and the music's still playing and Cody's just now stepping in the ring. So he must have stopped to have a coffee or whatever. And the big Cody chants. And boy, howdy, they're ready to see this fucking thing. And he asks Roman, can we have the ring to ourselves? And Paul and Solo and Uso step out. And that's when Cody tells the story. I took counsel this week. I talked to family and friends and legends. And Seth has made great points in his argument, but I disagree. It's not the Hollywood title. It's the title that my daddy had in his hands, and that's the title I still want. And everybody thinks, oh, here we go. And then Cody says that, Roman, you say all of this is yours. So finishing my story is taking everything away from you. And I want that title, and I'm coming for it because I want everything, but not at WrestleMania. And that's when people kind of go, what?
Even Roman was surprised.
Yes. And he says, I took counsel from one individual that I talked to that knows you very well. And boom, The Rock's music hits, and Roman's face changes, and in a realistic way, not a way, and the place goes batshit. And here comes The Rock. And now, by the way, The Rock's music starts playing at 9:52 p.m. SmackDown goes off the air at 9:58 because they're on network time. And nothing else was said. Rock makes his entrance, shakes hands with Cody. They hug. He whispers something in Cody's ear. Cody smiles and then leaves, turns back and nods, sort of like a, he ain't heavy, he's my brother, look back. And Rock does the slowly I turn to Roman, and the music comes down and the Rocky chants go. And he does the face off with Roman. First, they're all the way across the ring, and they get a little closer, a little closer, a little closer. And finally, as they're about 6 inches from nose to nose, we go off the air. So the last 6 minutes on the air, nobody spoke. It would just, but that's the thing, is we'll dissect in a moment the logic of it, or the reasons for it, or the potential backlash from it, or whatever the case. But what a fucking 2-segment piece of business here. If you just want to talk about making people go batshit about something in the building, in the room, in the moment.
Well, part of it is that they've stacked it so that The Rock gets these kind of reactions because he keeps coming out as a surprise. The surprise pop is different than the advertised pop.
Yes. I'm swallowing still. I thought you were going some further with that.
But I mean, every appearance he's made recently, it's a surprise appearance where all of a sudden his music hits and people react to it.
Yeah, but if it's Tits McGee and the music plays, people are going to fucking throw goddamn fucking stale jelly donuts at him. He's still a star to get the, oh shit, it's him.
Right. I mean, I'm sure the people in Birmingham didn't expect The Rock to show up.
No, that wasn't part of the advertised program.
They didn't realize how desperate he is.
But see, I'm being neutral because I see both sides of this thing, and you could have bigger troubles than what they've got as far as, oh goddamn, which major star do we put in this main event that sold 100,000 tickets already live? But this, as a performance, Roman was fantastic here. And then Cody, he's over, and they want to see it, and they've got him to where they want to see it. And I thought he performed this well, even though that it is, on the face of it, the surface of it, we don't understand why he made this decision. We do because we know the backstage news and the out of the ring news, but just on the television presentation.
In kayfabe, it makes no sense.
In kayfabe, well, it could. I'm going to tell you in a minute how it could eventually, but right now it doesn't make a lot of sense to the average fan. Go, well, we wanted to see you do it, and we like The Rock, but you know. So the segment was great. You know, they've been doing ratings on SmackDown when you get star after star after star. Last week was almost 2.5 million people. I'm pretty sure this one, when the numbers come out, will be a big number and probably massive at the end, because you, at the very least, even if Rock was a surprise, you knew that Cody and Roman were in the middle of the ring face to face. So they're doing big numbers for this, and it was a good segment on the program. But lots of people are upset because, and remember last year, we were pissed off because Cody didn't win. Because I thought, fuck, but they have managed to make it better, I think. I didn't think they'd do it, but the people want to see it more now than they ever have. But at some point, will they tamper with this, one too many times? or delay it or milk it or whatever.
Yeah, this was the one too many times based on the reaction outside of that arena from wrestling fans all across the world so far.
Well, and let's talk about that for a second, because before we get into the business office aspect of things, just what the fans have done. How many 100,000 tweets did hashtag We Want Cody get in a day or whatever?
Well, it's been a day, I think, or a day and a half, but as we are recording right now, Sunday, 335,000 tweets.
We want Cody.
And for the record, I saw We Want Rocky was also a trending earlier, but that was only, I think, 12,000 tweets.
Ouch.
That's a hell of a ratio right there.
Well, but here is the thing. Before we go any further with talking about what we really know and what might actually happen, when I saw this and I started thinking about this, I said they could eventually do it like this. I'm not saying they're going to. I don't know if they're going to. They probably won't. But would it be something that they would have set and thought and said, this will work, to have their cake and eat it too and have both of these matches? You can't deny that The Rock is a major Hollywood celebrity, and with Peacock now having more subscribers than ever, people that might not watch a wrestling event at this point. Oh shit, Rock's wrestling his Samoan cousin in the main event of this big spectacular fucking show that we can see with our Peacock prescription or subscription.
Also, they're not even cousins in any way.
Well, but you know what I'm saying. For the average person that ain't watching this show, because regardless of what they want to say about how mad they are, the people that are really into the WWE are watching WrestleMania, especially since it don't cost $100 anymore to order 2 pay-per-views.
That right there, you just hit the nail on the head what the problem is. The problem is WWE did something that would appeal more to non-fans than the actual weekly viewers. And what they did, I think based on the reaction we've seen so far, and this is what I expected, it has upset the viewers because you're taking something away from them that they've been waiting for really no good reason. Tickets are already sold.
Well, but no, it's not even about the tickets anymore.
Right, again, you brought up Peacock. It's something they think is going to appeal to people outside of wrestling, not wrestling fans. And I think that's always a dangerous road to go down, trying to appeal to the casuals or whatever you want to call them.
Well, but sometimes it works. When they thought they were going to shave either Trump's or Vince's head. They shaved Vince's. That worked.
Biggest pay-per-view ever, yeah.
And The Rock is certainly a bigger deal, not only to the wrestling audience, but the movie audience and whatever.
But he's not the big deal now that he was in 2013 when he came back.
Well, but the point I'm making is this an idea that they may could have sold themselves on, that this will work? Because what happens every time anybody is built up to face Roman Reigns? In the big match, the rest of the bloodline comes down, and either because it's no DQ and they kick the shit out of somebody, or if not, they fucking wipe the referee out, and there are people been in fucking medically induced comas that come around quicker than the referee, and they beat the shit out of whoever the guy is challenging Roman, and he wins, right? That's it every time. So what about if Roman and Rock, this match I can't see being for the title, wouldn't be for the title. I wouldn't have it for the title if I was if I was in this position and I was going to get out of it, I would have The Rock versus Roman Reigns is the main event of night 2 of the biggest WrestleMania of all time, and get all that publicity and all the Peacocks and all that stuff, and Netflix would just be tickling themselves on their taint and all that. But Cody Rhodes is the one that stops all of the interference from any member of the bloodline personally on the spot, so that The Rock, in a non-title match for the tribal chief position, defeats Roman Reigns. Because of Cody making the playing field even when Rock was about to suffer the same fate as everybody else has. And then there's Cody to hold The Rock's hand up. And then The Rock, as tribal chief, is the first one to lay down the goddamn proclamation that Solo and Uso and any other member of the bloodline is not allowed to assist Roman Reigns from now on. He has to win his battles himself. The only one that doesn't abide by The Rock, the new tribal chief's rules, is Paul Heyman, because he's not only not really blood, he's also a fucking conniving shyster crook con man. And so Roman has only Heyman as an ally over the next 2 or 3 months leading up to SummerSlam, where at that point, Cody Rhodes gets his opportunity to finish his story. He's taken away the bloodline. He's taken away the support system. He's taken away all of Roman Reigns' improper advantages, and now he's going to take the title. And The Rock could even be the special referee or whatever the fuck. But at the point that Roman Reigns suffers his loss for the championship, totally at the hands of Cody Rhodes, that's when Heyman stabs him in the fucking back, and Roman Reigns comes back as a babyface. Does that get him out of it?
No.
No?
I don't think so. I think people are going to be
Then
upset.
nothing can get him out of it.
I think, first of all, I think if it's Rocky versus Roman at WrestleMania, Roman has to win. Because it doesn't help the company for The Rock to win that match. First of all, The Rock's going to come out of that match needing multiple surgeries for injuries. I'll bet on that now. He's going to be fucked up after one match.
And we're not wishing on anyone.
I'm not wishing it on him, but I'm saying
just afeared of it.
If you look at his previous matches over the last 15 years, and you look at everyone else who comes back after a time off, and he's 51 or whatever, and he's bigger than he naturally should be, he's going to get hurt. And he's not the guy you want as your champion. They've spent all this time building up Roman Reigns. It's worked. He's got to beat Rocky. That puts him over bigger than ever. That stuns The Rock. Let's see if he can really act. Show us how upset you are about that. And then you get something with Cody. Now, it should be at WrestleMania. It's stupid that it wouldn't be. This isn't like something you want to see at a Backlash or something. Takes away all the pomp and circumstance of 80,000 people and fireworks and everything.
Do you think it's a double bad whammy if they don't get to see Cody beat Roman, but at the same time Rock doesn't beat Roman?
I think they're going to have to play their cards perfectly for fans not to turn on Dwayne Johnson, because we're about to be inundated with his crap. His daughter all of a sudden is on NXT as the general manager. Despite no one thinking she has any specific abilities as a promo, as an on-camera personality. I think she tried out to be a wrestler or something. That didn't work.
Well, now hold it. We'll examine his auxiliary crew here that he's bringing in a second. But just staying on The Rock and Roman, I don't see how they're going to get away with not giving the people Cody and Roman and then having Roman Reigns beat The Rock and leave WrestleMania with, he did it again.
Now, again, maybe there are creative ways around that. I'm not saying I would necessarily do this, but maybe Cody beats Damian Priest and gets the Money in the Bank suitcase. Again, that's kind of a lame way to get around it. Maybe Cody wins Elimination Chamber and somehow could pick something from that. I don't know.
All right, how about this? How about if Cody if the match is for the title with Rock and Roman, and Cody helps The Rock win the title, and then we get The Rock and Cody for the title, and Cody beats The Rock.
If you want Dwayne Johnson to be booed, yeah, that's a great idea.
Well, I'm just trying to get out of this that they've got into now.
Well, let's go back a step. Cody and Roman was built up for WrestleMania last year. Everyone thought Cody was going to win. Cody lost. Fans were upset. We were told by Paul Heyman and Triple H and everyone, give it time. These are the early innings. The story still has to be told. And in that year, Cody is more over today than he was then.
Yeah.
Cody's the most over babyface in wrestling right now. And everyone knows that everyone knows this is the match they expected, especially when he won the Rumble, and it feels like it's being yanked away. We've seen this before. Bryan Danielson, when they eventually put him in that three-way match with Batista and Triple H, and he won. The fans kind of went crazy demanding it. I think we're going to have a problem now because Dwayne Johnson's not going to always be able to show up and get a surprise pop. And the fans and the chatter about this is getting louder and louder because it feels like for the first time in a real long while, WWE is like slapping the face of the fans with this. The reaction's been overwhelming. They did not expect it. Most disliked video in WWE YouTube history, to the point where someone just wrote to me, I have to check on this. They said they just put it up again a second time, but they cut out Cody's sad facial expressions. So I need to go and check out if that's a real thing.
What if they replaced it with a shot of Cody playing with his baby and he's smiling?
The Rock just started showing up. He gets put on the board of directors, given a ridiculous pay package. Nick Khan's his friend from childhood. Ari Emanuel's people have been representing him for years. And now all of a sudden, he's jumping right into the main event of this show that he wasn't needed for. I mean, that's the other thing. It's a kumbaya moment. The locker room gets along. They're doing great business, record business. Everything's working out fine. And then he's throwing himself right in the middle of it. And the word going around is that he was politicking for it. The other word going around is that he was politicking to win. So who knows? But this is a locker room morale crushing thing for someone who is a massive star from the past to come in and just take the spot on top when it's not needed, it's not necessary, and it may be counterproductive long term to everything they've been building and working on. And he's just going to be slotted in there.
Brian, I can explain to you why this happened. And I can also explain to you why you're so upset about this, why you're so incensed about this, because you're not listening to enough pleasant music.
What?
You're not listening to enough pleasant music.
That isn't true. I listen to so much pleasant music every single day.
No, you need to listen to some Carpenters.
What? No.
You need to listen. You need to listen to some of the Archies. A little Bang Shang-a-Lang.
Oh, the Archies.
Bang Bang.
I like the Archies.
That's how my heart went.
I like Bubblegum.
You need to put your Raycon wireless earbuds in. You need to shut out the outside world. And you need to listen to your own pleasant soundtrack. And it'll lift your mood. It'll improve your state of mind. You won't be thinking about all these scandals and backstabbing incidents and treachery and deceit and dishonor. You'll be thinking about the strawberry alarm clock and incense and peppermints.
That's not really a relaxing song.
Well, certainly it is.
No, it's not.
Incense and peppermints, the color of time.
That's not how they sang it. That certainly is not how the record sounds in any way.
Well, you could listen to Alley-Oop by the Hollywood Argyles. That's a fun, boppy song.
Well, you're just all over the place. That was written by Kim Fowley, by the way. But you're all over the place. It certainly was.
Well, with the Raycon Everyday Earbuds, you can be all over the place because you can listen to anything you want. You can play the soundtrack that your mind hears and imagine what kind of fucking chaos that'll be. You've got the optimized gel tips for the perfect in-ear fit. You just stick them in there, and the gel instantly bonds to your skin and forms a permanent seal. So there's no way you're going to be able to shake or drag these things out. And now the surgery for the removal of the Raycon Everyday Earbuds is cheaper than ever. It's covered by most major insurance. And your Raycons are here for not only a good time, but a long time. Much like many of your other relationships, with 8 hours of playtime and a 32-hour battery life. And, Brian, they've got the customizable sound profiles, 3 of them, the earbud tap functions, the noise isolation mode, the awareness mode. Basically, you can put these things, you can call cabs with these things. If you got the Raycon wireless earbuds in, if you put your index finger on your right hand in your right ear and you whistle with 2 fingers in your mouth, then it will broadcast it off the left channel to all the taxi cab companies in the area.
Not true.
You've tried that in New York, haven't you?
I have not, and it's a real bitch.
And it helps also if you're standing on one leg and hopping and waving the other arm over your head and screaming like a chicken. People will stop. Sometimes it's not even a cab. It's just random people in a car will stop when they see you.
None of this has anything to do with Raycon. As you said at the top, you could listen to fine tunes, some good music. You could answer your phone calls. You could listen to a podcast or a wrestling show, whatever you want.
Well, imagine that. And, Valentine's Day is coming up. So get your significant other a set of these bad boys and put it on the noise isolation mode. And that way you don't have to talk to them and they won't be able to hear you. So it tremendously elongate your relationship. And anyway, right now, if you go to Buy Raycon, that's BUYRAYCON, buyraycon.com/JCE, you can get 15% off so you can save money on whatever bimbo or bimbet you're buying something for the holiday, for Valentine's Day. 15% off and free shipping. They'll bring it to the old hag or the miserable piece of shit that you're involved with, whichever one applies, and not charge you for shipping or the extra 15% you're going to get off the whole total. So that's a good deal, right?
That's a good deal.
Well,
Right.
if there's 3 or 4 people that you don't like in your life, you can save money and get them something where that they can't hear you and won't want to talk to you either.
Well, maybe
So
just
buy a set of these for everybody that you really just pisses you off that you don't like.
Well, I
And
don't
tell
want-
them to shove these in their fucking ears.
I don't want to discourage anyone from buying these for anyone, but let's focus on the people that you like in your life.
Well, there's a lot more of them that I don't like than ones that I like. So it seems to me that Raycon's business would be enhanced if I was buying them for people that I didn't like. Because there's a ton of them. They'd sell fucking everyday earbuds out there, everyday asses. Think how many people you don't like.
Yeah, I'm not
Think
buying
how many
anything for
people
them.
you do like.
I'm not spending a cent on any of these people.
Well, fuck them then.
Exactly.
So,
Buy your own Raycon.
Because you've already got your everyday earbuds, but
That's
other
right.
people don't.
And nor will they with my money.
Well, then you're going to have to put up with them hearing you and talking to you because there won't be anything to cut them off from the outside world.
So your solution is to find all the people I don't like and buy them noise-canceling earbuds so I don't have to hear them?
Yeah, tell them stick these in your ears, then they won't be able to hear you and they won't want to talk to you, so you don't have to deal with them. They'll be in their own world. And then potentially, if you can get them all to wear them at the same time and broadcast some kind of, I don't know, high-frequency signal, you could fry all their brains at the same time, and they'd be goddamn just wandering around like fucking turkeys, gobbling and looking up at the sky when it rains, and they'd drown.
I don't know about that. Once again, incense and peppermints, ladies and gentlemen. You can hear great tunes, relaxing tunes, whatever it may be, rock and roll, rap, everything in between with Raycon.
Yes. All you have to do is go to incenseandpeppermints.com. I'm sorry, buyraycon.com.
Raycon. That's right.
/incense and peppermints. No, /JCE. 15% off and free shipping on the incense or the peppermints.